Hi folks, and welcome to TK Power Sports, and a very exciting video because I'm here with this. This is the brand new Can-Am Maverick R. And in this video, we're gonna do a full walk around. I'll show you all the features, we'll take a look inside, and then tomorrow we're going on a long desert ride, so I'm gonna be able to bring you a full review very soon, which I'm excited for. But for now, let's just talk about this machine. You've probably already seen it, and easily the most distinctive feature on this new Maverick R has to be this front suspension. They're calling this the tall knuckle suspension, and I mean, just look at this thing, how beefy it is. And then I think the key is that the knuckle is right in line with the tire, so it helps keep everything nice and flat and smooth and helps keep your camber correct. Yeah, I mean, this thing is just crazy looking, and I can't wait to get it out there and see how it actually feels. I worry, you know, coming from Canada and coming from the east that, you know, you're gonna get caught up with maybe some big branches or sticks or something on this thing, but out here in the desert, that's probably not an issue. And we might as well now get to the next thing, which is that this machine is 77 inches wide. So it's basically meant for the desert. I don't think this would fit down a lot of my trails back home in Ontario. And that's why Can-Am has brought us out here to lovely Reno, Nevada to test this thing. So front suspension, you've seen it. Up here in the front, we get 25 inches of suspension travel. In the rear, you're getting 26 inches of travel. So some really nice travel numbers, and that is up from the Maverick X3. Now let's talk about power. The engine in this thing is a 999cc turbocharged 3-cylinder, and it makes 240 horsepower. Those are some serious numbers, and it sounds like an exciting engine. But what I'm actually more excited about is the transmission. This is a brand new 7-speed dual clutch transmission from Rotax. So there's no belt here anymore. There's no CVT here. This is a proper gear-on-gear transmission. And then the whole thing with dual clutch is it should allow it to let off lightning quick shifts. And once again, I mentioned it, I'm gonna be riding this thing. Once I'm in there, I'll be able to comment on it. But it's really cool to see someone move away from a CVT. CVTs are great for a lot of things, but they're not the best when it comes to power delivery. Having a real gear-on-gear transmission should feel awesome in this machine.
The engine also features 3 selectable drive modes: Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus. In Normal, the DCT is going to shift between 3,500 and 4,500 RPM. In Sport, the shifts are going to happen at 8,500 RPM, and you're going to get enhanced throttle response. And then stick it into Sport Plus, and you get to use one of the most interesting features on this new unit, which is Advanced Response Technology. Can-Am calls it ART, which is an anti-turbo lag system. Basically, the way ART works is it cuts out the center cylinder on this 3-cylinder engine. So 1 and 3 are still firing while 2 is not. Now that cylinder in the middle that's not firing then acts as an air pump to get the turbo spinning faster than it normally would when the machine was sitting there at idle. So essentially, right off the line, when you nail the throttle, the turbo is already spooled up, and that cylinder that cut out, it will instantly cut back in, and you'll take off with no turbo lag. And this is definitely something that I'm excited to test in the real world to see how it works.
So why don't we roll around here to the side and take a look inside. I'll go over to the driver's side. So the model we're looking at right here in this video is the Maverick R X RS with Smart Shocks. So this thing is the fully loaded model. And you can see right there in the center, that's a 10.25-inch touchscreen. Basically automotive quality. You're also getting front and rear cameras, so you can actually see in front and behind this vehicle, which is extremely important because this is not a small vehicle. I mentioned it's 77 inches wide, but now let me mention all the numbers. This thing is 140 inches long and 71.5 inches tall. And like most Can-Am models, it tends, I can't even find the door handle, there's the strap. So like most Can-Am models, this has a really kind of deep seating position. So when you get in here, you really kind of sit down deep in the vehicle. So again, having the camera in the front and in the rear should be massively helpful. While I'm in here, might as well comment on ergonomics. I stand at 6'2", over 300 pounds. I fit pretty well. Seems like decent amount of headroom up there. So when I get my helmet on, it should be no problem. And yeah, lots of leg room, lots of knee room. So even for big guys, big people, you don't have to worry. This thing fits me pretty nice. I can't wait to get out there and start ripping around. So the other system on this model, because it's the fully loaded model, is what Can-Am calls Smart Shocks. This is a set of Fox live valve shocks. It allows this thing to continuously adjust its damping on the fly, which is extremely helpful to make it a best of all worlds machine. Now in the front here, you're looking at a set of Fox 2.5-inch Podium RC2 shocks, and those of course have that high knuckle setup. In the rear though, we're talking about a 4-link trailing arm setup, and that's a set of Fox 3-inch Podium piggyback shocks with the Smart Shock setup. So like I said, those things will adjust themselves on the fly based on driver input, and then also based on which mode you put them in as the driver. Now, as we're down here too, just look at the beefiness of some of these components. This trailing arm is absolutely massive. Another thing we'll notice if you want to pull out here and look at the wheel, that's a 6-lug wheel like a lot of pickup trucks have now. And again, just imagine the torque that's being put into these wheel and tire combos. You need to have those now to be able to support all of this power. So that's the other thing that's coming across, and this is literally my first time walking around the machine. Everything looks massive, overbuilt, and ready for some abuse. Also, because this is not exactly a light machine. When we're talking about curb weight, this machine weighs just a little bit over 2,000 pounds. On our Max, or on our XKRS with Smart Shocks here, 2,250 pound dry weight. So it's a pretty significant machine when it comes to the overall weight too, hence we have all that beefy equipment. As I get around to the back here, we do have a couple accessories on this, so why don't we investigate these. So this is the link system. This allows you to drop this in here and attach it. Nice little bin here, what you're bringing. There's a nice rubber gasket there too, so it should keep the dust out. And then it looks like two just little smaller accessory bins on the side, and those are actually fairly deep. So nice. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of machine you have, you generally have stuff you want to bring with you. So Can-Am thought of that too, even on this insane performance Maverick, and you can get these link accessories, and I'm sure they have an entire accessories catalog ready to outfit the back of the new Maverick R. Some other important numbers I have to get out there: 17 inches of ground clearance, which is pretty ridiculous. A 108-inch wheelbase, which is pretty big for a side-by-side. And then when we're talking about the tires, this is a set of 32-inch tires. And easily the most asked question on the internet the moment this thing launched was, how big of a tire can I put on there? Because this suspension, this tall knuckle, obviously is going to limit your tire size. Can-Am says 35. So that comes with 32s, but you can put 35s on this machine if you want to get a little bit more out of it, even though it's already pretty ridiculous.
There are 4 different models of the Maverick R that will be available, and I'm going to throw all of the prices up on screen for you right here. And it probably goes without saying, but for this level of peak performance, it will not come cheap. Well folks, we have gotten to the end of this video. Now Can-Am really went all out with this Maverick R, and they told us straight up, without mincing words, they like to be the disruptor in the industry. They like to come out with new technologies and do things that no one else is doing. And I'll say, when you look at the front suspension design, the anti-lag technology, and then a 7-speed DCT, yeah, those are things that not many other brands are doing. So I'm excited to ride this Maverick R. Make sure you come back to the channel really soon for that full review. But before you leave, go below into the comments. Let me know what you think of this brand new Maverick R. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to TK Power Sports to see what we are testing next. See ya.